If you're looking for a fragrance that's going to give you tons of compliments, like my shirt, then I've got 5 compliment magnets for you.
Yeah, bitch! Magnets!
Today we're reviewing 5 compliment magnets. I'm going to let you know which fragrances in my collection get me the most amount of compliments, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents, so let's get started. Alright, this is my 2 cents. My name is Sean. If you've already seen our videos, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome. Alright, as I've said, today we're going to be reviewing 5 compliment magnets. These are the fragrances in my collection that people stop me the most, ask me what I'm wearing. They're the ones people want to try on their skin if I'm carrying the bottle with me. But these are going to be the fragrances that I think are going to get you the most compliments. But before we get started, I do want to say, if you are a fan of fast-paced fragrance reviews and you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. You know you want to see all of the important things that I have to say, and the algorithm really likes it, and I would really appreciate it. That said, let's get started. Alright, 5 compliment magnets, but before I get into it, I do want to put a disclaimer. I do have a video up already that's the fragrance that gets me the absolute most compliments, and I didn't want you to think I was a liar, but I'm not going to include that one on this list because I've already talked about it for 10 minutes in the other video, but that's going to be Ganymede by the house of Marc-Antoine Barrois. So consider this an honorable mention. Go watch the other video if you're interested in learning more about Ganymede. But other than that, I've got 5 more fragrances sitting here that I'm super excited to talk about, so let's get into it. Alright, the first one we're going to mention, I think everybody knows about. If you don't know the fragrance personally, you've definitely smelled it on someone. It has become sort of a universally accepted icon. I think a lot of people know about this fragrance. It's by the house of Montale, and it's called, of course, Arabians Tonka. If you don't know much about the house of Montale, they are known for creating oud-heavy fragrances which have high impact, strong projection, and very long life, and Arabians Tonka here is no exception to that. So a lot of these fragrances in Montale mix rose with oud with something else. This is no exception. You've got oud, you've got rose, but right in the title you've got the word Tonka, so you're going to think this is going to be something sweeter, and it definitely is. What you've got here is basically a sweet, ambery gourmand. In the top, you've got a burst of citrus. There's bergamot, there's saffron here. In the middle, you've got that rose with that oud, and then in the base, you've got a lot of notes which make it sweet. Think tonka, think sugarcane, but you've also got amber, you've got white musk in there as well. Right off the top, this is a sweeter fragrance. This is a gourmand fragrance, but you've got that rose and that oud there that cut it and keep it from reading as simply dessert. This is not going to be an over-the-top sweet fragrance. It's complex, it's got the oud, you've got the rose, and it stays pretty linear through the entire duration of wearing it. This is a very loud fragrance. This is going to project, it's going to leave an incredible sillage. Everybody's going to know you're wearing it. I was in a hotel a couple weeks ago. Somebody was getting off of the elevator as I was getting on, and I said, as he was walking away, I said, Arabians Tonka, it's fantastic. And he turned around and he said, thank you. Once you know this fragrance, you're never going to mistake it. But as I've said, it's historically been a very loud fragrance. I understand that a couple of the newer batches have been a little bit softer and they don't project as much. But my bottle I got when it first came out, and it definitely projects. It definitely leaves an incredible, incredible sillage as well. It's a perfect fragrance for evenings. It's a perfect fragrance for cooler weather. It's perfect for when you want to be noticed across the table. The only thing that I don't really like about it is the fact that it's become too popular and everybody seems to be wearing it now. You seem to smell it in more places than you used to. I got it when it first came out. I absolutely loved it. Was wearing it quite frequently. Now I don't wear it as much, but definitely a compliment getter. It's big, it's sexy, it's unmistakable. People are definitely going to ask you what you're wearing. So that was Arabians Tonka by Montale. The next fragrance in our compliment magnet list is going to be by the house of Frederic, and it is called Promise. If you don't know this one, I love it. So Frederic collaborates with top perfumers and gives them total artistic freedom to create exactly what they want. No marketing restrictions here, it's just artistry. This particular fragrance, Promise, is done by Dominique Ropion. So what you've got here out of the bottle is a spiced apple with a spicy pink pepper, and at the heart you've got a duality of rose. There's a Turkish rose and a Bulgarian rose. This is very rose heavy, but the note that you smelled the most prominently, especially right out of the bottle, is that apple note. There's sort of a dirtiness to this as well. It's important to point out this is the only one of the Desert Gems collection that does not have oud in it of any sort. It still smells dirty. It's got that fecalness to it that sort of smells like it's got oud, but this projects like a monster. Everyone in the room is going to smell it. Everyone's going to ask you what you're wearing. This is not an offensive fragrance. It's not an over-the-top dirty oud. This is something blended masterfully. Like I said, this has two types of rose that are blended with resins and spices. It's loud without screaming. This is a dense, powerful, long-lasting fragrance. If you overspray that, you're going to own the room for the next 24 hours. It's a great evening fragrance. It's a great cold weather fragrance. I still wore it all summer long. I absolutely love Promise. It may be in my top 10 fragrances. I know that's a hot take. I got to be able to put that list together. I absolutely love this. Even though this is a compliment getter, I'm going to say this is not a mass appeal fragrance for everybody to wear. This is not going to work well with everybody's skin chemistry, but definitely when this hits for someone, it hits hard. If you don't know this fragrance, definitely go get a bottle or at least get a sample because it's quite expensive. All right, so that's the second one on the compliment magnets list. The third fragrance I'm going to talk about is from the house of Amouage. This is one I think everybody knows or has at least heard of. If you haven't gotten your nose on it yet, make sure you do. This is Reflection 45 by Amouage. If you don't know much about the House of Amouage, it's an Omani-based company who uses natural ingredients at extravagant levels and complexity. These fragrances pack quite a punch. One of the things that I always tell somebody about this fragrance is you know something has been masterfully created when you can't smell one or two notes and say, this is exactly what I'm smelling. This is one of those fragrances. And you spray this on you, you can't pick out a particular note, at least I can't. So what you've got here in this fragrance is lavender, clary sage, cardamom, juniper, jasmine, orris, there's sandalwood sort of rounding out the base, vetiver, there's myrrh, there's frankincense. This is a fantastic fragrance. This is part of Amouage's exceptional extrait collection. The original version of this fragrance was called Reflection. The Reflection 45, the 45 number, means that it has 45% oil in this. Therefore, you know this is going to be a beast. Everyone is going to smell you coming. The longevity here is easily 10 to 12 hours on you. It's going to last on your clothing for an even longer period of time than that. It's a great fragrance to wear for evenings. It's a great fragrance to wear when you're going out to dinner. It's a great fragrance to wear when you're trying to smell different, when you're trying to stick out, but you don't want people to think that you're trying too hard. I also think that it has one of the best bottles. I think they said it was double painted so that it looks more like it's reflective, but it's one of my favorite fragrances. But when I'm wearing this, people will ask me all the time what it is because it's not something that you're going to smell on everyone. It's not an inexpensive fragrance. It's $550 in the United States. So that said, it's not going to be something that everybody's going to own a bottle of. So if you're looking for something that's going to be different, it's going to give you lots of compliments, and it's got that sort of Middle Eastern vibe to it, definitely pick up Reflection 45 by Amouage. All right, moving on to fragrance number 4 is by the House of Wolf Brothers, and it is called Moco. So if you don't know anything about the House of Wolf Brothers, this is a Polish brand who is inspired by folklore and the use of natural ingredients. I ended up getting my bottle of this in London at Bloom. There is a green version of this. It's the sister fragrance or the brother fragrance, whatever you want to call it. It is called Moro. I preferred Moco. So what you've got here is you've got water notes, you've got raspberry, think fig, lily of the valley, it's got some sandalwood, it's got oak moss in the base. This is a very aquatic fragrance, but it's got a dark dankness to it. Think almost like living in a cave, a damp cave, but it's very, very refined. It's very wearable. I can't say that this fragrance reminds me of any other fragrance behind me. It is a unique fragrance that stands apart from everything else, and I think that's what makes it such a compliment magnet. I've worn this on a plane and I've gotten several compliments from people. I've worn it out to dinner. I've worn it on the subway here in New York. I've gotten compliments in each of those locations. I've had people ask me what I'm wearing. You have to explain to the company that it's Wolf Brothers. I know that you can get it at some of these online stores. I know that they have their own website. You can get it in London at Bloom Perfumery. You can get some of their fragrances at Stell in New York City. But Moco is the standout fragrance for me. I think why people react to this fragrance is that there's a cleanness to it, yet there's also an aquatic, earthy depth to it. It's fresh, it's masculine, yet it's still approachable. Moco's going to leave a moderately strong trail behind you. It's one of those can't stop smelling your skin fragrances. If you have it on your hand, you're going to keep going back to it. I think this is one of those fragrances that people that like it, they're going to keep leaning into you to try and figure out what they're smelling until they finally give in and ask you what it is. Like I said, this is a daytime fragrance, it's a nighttime fragrance, it's a casual fragrance, it's a travel fragrance. I said that this is sort of a masculine fragrance, and I think it leans masculine, but that doesn't mean that it's not unisex. A friend of mine that I work with, I went on a trip with her, And she actually took my bottle of Moco and used it for the duration of the 3 days and got so many compliments that when I was going to London, she asked me to pick her up a bottle. So if that says anything about the level of compliments that Moco gives. If you're not familiar with the house, definitely try out some of their fragrances, but I would say start right here because this is hands down for me the best one. All right, and finally, the 5th fragrance on the compliment magnets list. You know I had to include something from Creed here. This is Absolu Aventus. It's the newest version of Aventus. Everybody knows the House of Creed, bespoke fragrances since the 1700s, and everybody knows the fragrance Aventus. Aventus was lightning in a bottle for Creed. They've sold more bottles of Aventus than they have all of the other fragrances combined. So why not make different versions of it? Well, we've got an Aventus for her, we've got an Aventus cologne. This is a higher end version, a more refined, a more intricately blended version called Absolu Aventus. It was originally released a couple of years ago as a limited edition fragrance. I loved it so much that I ended up buying 4 bottles of it. I still have 3 of them still boxed. But they've gone ahead and released it recently as a full-time member of the collection. But I'm not upset by that because I love it so much. Oh, so Absolu Aventus. So what you're getting here is you're getting that same Creed Aventus DNA, but they've thrown a couple other things in there. You've got grapefruit, you've got that bergamot still, you've got pineapple, you've still got those woody notes. But here you're getting cardamom, you're getting cinnamon, and I'm going to tell you what this always reminds me of. This reminds me of a walk through a Christmas market. If you think about the trees that are being sold there, if you think about the mulling spices, that sort of thing, everything in this sort of blended together reminds me of Christmas. There is nothing in this fragrance that people are going to find objectionable. People react positively to this because it has the familiarity of that Aventus DNA. This is one of those fragrances that has a very smooth projection. It is going to be noticeable on your skin all day long, but it's never going to become fatiguing. It's never going to become over the top. You're never going to get tired of it. Like I said, when would I wear this? Where would I wear this? Absolutely anywhere at any time. This is universal confidence wrapped up in a bottle. Of all of the fragrance here, this is the most effortless attention magnet. This is comfort, coziness to the nth degree. It smells expensive, it smells refined, and I think I had my doubts when Creed said they were going to release a 4th version of Aventus, but my God, this is the best of the 4. I gotta say, this is in the top 5 of my fragrances that I have in the collection behind me. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to make this a signature scent because at first it was a limited release, and right now it's about $610 for the full 100 ml bottle. All right, so those are 5 compliment magnets, and also don't forget Ganymede. What are your compliment magnets? What have I missed? What do you have that gets you the most compliments or the most attention, the most questions? Definitely leave me a comment. Let's get the conversation going. I try to respond to all of the comments. If you like any of these fragrances, let me know. Put it in the comments. Definitely give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Like I always say, the algorithm likes it when you do that, and so do I. Thank you for watching. 5 compliment magnets. I hope you know these fragrances. I hope you get to know these fragrances, and I hope that they're as successful at getting compliments and questions for you as they are for me. Thanks for watching. Once again, that was my 2 cents. My name is Sean, and I hope to see you next episode. And you really love the shirt, right?